Fish are friends, not food.
I'm a little worried about Rob.
Yes, it's happening.
Ever since we tried to summon Cthulhu, he hasn't been the same.
I'm growing gills. My transformation into a deep one has finally begun.
Rob, we don't see any gills.
It's these kids getting involved with all this stuff causes them to go crazy.
I think I feel the webbing starting to grow between my fingers.
Welcome to Dinner and a Board Game, a new actual play show about friends, good food, and lots of fun at the gaming table. We're your hosts, Megan and Heath. Each night, I'll invite the gaming group over to my house to cook dinner, sample drinks, and play a board game on one of our customized board game boards. Dinner and a Board Game is an actual play show where you'll be able to watch the game from start to finish with gameplay dashboards and graphics that help track the turns and allow everyone to follow the game's action. We'll play games like Zombicide, Black Plague, Descent, Journeys in the Dark, Small World, Unearth, and Terraforming Mars. We'll even be joined by special guests such as Lou Anders, J.F. Lewis, and cosmic horror artist David LaRocca. The show is free to watch on YouTube. Just come by my channel, Heath Robinson, and be sure to subscribe. Click Watch Now to start the first episode and join us for fun-filled evenings of dinner.
It's like Twilight, but with a fish.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's after party. I am very pleased to be joined by Brianna da Silva. Brianna's over there right now. She is the director and co-writer of the show. Say hi, Brianna.
Hi, Brianna.
Welcome. Glad to have everybody here. We have got lots of things to talk about tonight. I've got a whole list of items to talk about. And I just got confirmation that we are live through my email, which is good because I have screwed that up now. Gaia, the incomparable, asks, how are you? I'm doing well. How are you doing, Brianna?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm creative as of late, but also distracted on account of being creative. I've been working on Heath knows about this, but I've been working on a screenplay and it's just been consuming all my thoughts. So that's my life right now.
Yes, Chav says that we might remember him before he was the person who runs the special needs RPG. Yes, I do remember that, Chav. Yes, and Gia says, woo, writing. Yes, that's an important part of this.
That's nothing else can happen without the writing oftentimes.
Well, that's what I've been, that's been my thing. Is there's a whole bunch of stuff that has got to be written. Like that's primary. I'm like, looking at this. I'm like, in order to get most stuff done, the writing has to get done. Terra Tiles had to get off my plate. But then the rest of it is all about writing. Do you want to tell people about what you're doing, or what do we want to talk about here? Do we want to talwant to talk about that last episode? We want to talk about what we're doing. I've got a whole bunch of other topics here to talk about. But why don't we talk about you want to talk about the cultists or where we're going?
We could ask people what they want us to talk about.
What do people?
We should talk about both, though. I feel like
we should. We should which ones first. And if you have questions for us, please do let us know, because we can talk about the last episode of the Cultists, because Brianna and I co-wrote that show. I produced it. She directed it. So we have got that. We did that. But we're also trying to go on and do new things as well.
Yeah. I can go ahead and kind of give an overview of what's going on with the two of us. Okay. Because, and then if people have any specific questions, I'd love to hear them. But so Heath and I are both, obviously we want to do film. We want to do, we want to make things. And so he and I have both been talking, for a long time, pretty much for the entirety of our friendship has been like, how do we do this? How do we strategize? How do we figure this out? Because it's an incredibly difficult industry. That's kind of an understatement, but summon Cthulhu, Chav says that's a good idea. We should try But yeah, so what we are both thinking about right now is that we need to go to Los Angeles. And I know for me specifically, because what I'm most interested in doing is epic stories, epic movies, television, things like that. I want to be, a writer, director / showrunner, and that's where that kind of stuff happens. I'm currently located in Denver. So he and I have been getting a lot of advice, and basically we're both working on putting our materials together for going to Hollywood and getting representation and stuff like that. So for me, as a writer director, I'm working on a short film, and then also one was going to be 2 screenplays, but I'm thinking now it's going to be a screenplay and a TV pilot. So that is in progress. Trying to get those really, really sharp and polished as well. Mainly just to get representation. And then the next step is to actually make stuff. But yeah, so that is my world right now. There's a question, if you want to put it on the screen, Heath. I was about to answer it. And I guess we can both answer this individually. What's your favorite part? Producing, writing, directing, acting? I'm a writer director. I'm not really into acting. The extent to which I like acting is to understand it so I can better direct actors. I'm more of a behind the camera kind of person. I'm not uncomfortable with cameras. I just don't want to be acting. But I guess there's a little bit of a producer element for me because I have, original stories I'm trying to get made, but ultimately it's writing and directing are my 2 passions.
And I would say that for me, it is producing and writing. So those are the 2 that I'm most interested in is producing stuff and writing stuff.
Perfect time to be doing that. Yep.
Oh, and Shab says, I love Zombicide. It's one of my favorite games. I love Zombicide too. But Mansions of Madness, Brianna, were you in the all night long Mansions of Madness game?
That doesn't sound familiar.
We played Mansions of Madness with a whole bunch of the Cultist people, and it was because it was the same.
Maybe I was there.
It was the same night that we played the Secret Hitler, and then we're like, okay, now let's play Mansions of Madness,
and we were up all night.
That game went on for like 8 hours of Mansions of Madness.
Yeah, and a couple people left because they're like, I gotta go to home and sleep.
But
I do remember that now.
Good. It's so good. Yes, I want Cultist miniatures too. We got to get these things made. So hopefully we will have a lot of people come out for this. Got to start marketing it. Make sure people know. I play primarily Zombicide Black Plague, which is the medieval version. There is the Zombicide modern day version, and Zombicide the modern day version has the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Does anybody have this?
He gets excited.
Yeah, I have been trying to. I did. I primed these guys, but I haven't painted them. I got tons of stuff that have got to be painted, but I've got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for Zombicide. But this is for the modern version, and I don't own the modern version of the game, so I can't actually play with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Because I just have the medieval version of the game. But it seems like it would be pretty cool if you did. Stat block time, exactly. We need to build the Cultists for these things like this. Scipio says, or Cypop says, not sure on cost or profit margin, but enameled steel mugs are nice, not microwavable, much more durable than ceramic. Same stuff a lot of camping dishes are made from. That's a good point, that those would at least be durable. They wouldn't be broken up. Because the problem with me, would have to look at profit margin too, and if they're actually worth doing it, there's something people would buy. But the primary problem, I guess something like this. But the primary problem with the mugs is that they just get broken. Mansions of Madness is a game I like to bring on family vacations, Keith says. Brandon says, so jealous of your Zombicide Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle minis. Yeah, they're like special edition or something, I think. I forget how exactly I got them, but I was like, I got to get them. But then I realized they're for the modern version of the game. Turtles in Time, Zombicide. Yeah, that's true. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles go back in time and go to Zombicide. I started painting my Zombicide Black Plague and Green Horde miniatures. Yeah, I painted mine, and you can see how I painted mine on one of the videos here on this YouTube. Brianna, I think we need to talk about the show. Let me send out the link for the Terra Tiles Coast and Rivers giveaway. We're at about 37 minutes, but I feel like we should talk about the show. I've been meaning to do that for the past 2 episodes, and we should do that. And since you're the director, you're also here. Yes, we should definitely do that. So let me put the link here, Terra Tiles Tundra's waste giveaway. We'll do that. And then that's what I do. I did bring up the show so we could bring it up and like talk about it as it goes. There is also a Zombicide Sci-Fi. I have heard, but I have not played it. Brandon says, any love for Massive Darkness? And here's the deal with Massive Darkness. I played Massive Darkness once, had a bunch of friends get together. We played it wrong. I didn't understand it at the time. I was like, why? Because I know everybody loves the Massive Darkness game. I played it once and we didn't get it. Like, why is everybody like this? But then we realized like 90% of the way through the game that we were playing it wrong. And so I'm not passing judgment on the game now because we actually played it wrong. And these were grown men I was playing with. And then when we realized we were playing it wrong, there was one person in the group who got extremely angry that we had played this game, we were playing it wrong. And there was another person who was angry because he was getting angry. And there was almost a fight, like of grown men sitting there playing this board game when we realized that we had been playing this game wrong and that, we lost the game, but we should have won the game because we should have been doing something else because we didn't understand how to play. So I would play Massive Darkness again, absolutely, if I were sure that I was playing the game right. Zombicide Steampunk, Linda Acornberg says yes, and I am sure that there probably will be.
I'm sure they will eventually.
Hunter says, getting caught up. I'm behind in time till I get live. Patreon every week. So, like, if I were to do a Patreon, I would want to be able to post a lot, and that's why I have been thinking about it a lot because I'm very hesitant. Have been hesitant to start another one. Yeah. The best Patreons that I have been on are the ones where somebody posts almost every day. Because I've been on Patreons where people either don't post or they post once a month or something like that, and they're not really forming a community. And I would want there to be a community. And I think there could be a really great community based on everything that we're creating. Because it can't just be the Cultist community. It can't just be the Rabavania community. It can't just be the Theophany community. It can't just be the dinner and a board game community. It has to be, a realization there's a lot of stuff that's going on here at Ravenkeep. And so there's a lot of stuff that you're supporting. But on the flip side of that, that does mean that there's an opportunity to post a lot if a lot of things are going on. That, this month or whatever, I'm posting a lot about Rabavania because I'm trying to build that World Anvil for the World Book, to do an RPG with. If we get to do the Cultist Season 3, then when that's going on, obviously a lot of the posts would be about that because that would take all of our time, in order to do that. So that's why that's what's going on there. The sci-fi version uses Cthulhu-type aliens. Oh, interesting. Hunter says, Green Plague. I haven't opened the modern one yet. Oh, did I get those turtles? I have to look now. The turtles came in a different set. The turtles came independently. I've got Green Horde or Green Plague. I think I have Green Horde. I think I've got Green Horde back there. I've got all of the expansions. Show talk for the win. All right, let's talk about the show. Let's talk about the show. I tell you what, I'm going to bring up the show over here to the stream so that we can and I can
live commentary.
Right, we can do live commentary. Right, yeah. And I've been trying to get people to do a live watch parties for the show. We did a live watch party for the show a couple of weeks ago. Like 3 weeks ago, I did a live watch party of all of season 1 here on the channel. But I've been trying to get other channels to do live watch parties as well. So if you're here and you've got, some other channel that does like reviews and things like that, I'm very happy to send them the whole season, because sometimes watch parties can be rather lame if you're trying to do a watch party for a show that you don't have rights to, because YouTube won't let you show it. So you're doing a live watch party, but you can't actually see the show. But I've got the show, so if some other channel wants to do a live watch party and you think it would help get the word out about the Cultists, please let people know. All right, so let's talk about it right here, so we can do exactly this right here. So, all right, I'm going to let you lead off with the commentary, Madam Director.
Oh, no, I'm not prepared for this.
This happens to people who don't want it all the time.
Do you remember that shooting the scene?
Yeah, that was like there was some confusion there. We kept doing that part over and over again, and he kept putting the emphasis somewhere weird, and we're like, it was like not clicking for some reason. So it was a challenge in communication, which was something that I really had to learn a lot as a director. I realized, especially during this season, I'm like, I really need to learn more about how to communicate with actors because I was not doing a very good job. But that was a kind of funny moment. Like we kept putting in different words. Like what we're saying is that most people who become deep ones, it's horrible and you don't want to be a deep one. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh, so with that line was an issue for some reason. It was a miscommunication on set.
Right. Because the transformation, and in his world, apparently this is happening to people all the time. People are turning into deep ones all the time.
Right. Rob thinks that and I want to comment on this because, you say Rob thinks that like the world of the Cthulhu mythos is real and all around. But we kind of leave that open on the show. That was something Heath and I talked about. Like, do we want to ever, because there were moments when we had the opportunity to like make something actually happen. Obviously. And so we're like, do we want that? Or do we want it to always be fake? We decided kind of in the middle that it was going to be like, you kind of leave it open that like maybe the Cthulhu world is real, but we're not going to say whether or not it is in the show.
Right. Yes.
This? Yes, it's happening. Thank you, Father Dagon. Thank you.
I'm terribly sorry for your cousin. I'm terribly sorry about that.
He said that it just came out of the water, and yeah,
that was his.
So that's how he says
his non-scripted lead in, which we do that a lot, especially for these kinds of scenes where it's like, okay, you can just kind of say what's natural, and then we go into the normal lines. Especially Peter, he prefers to do that a lot.
You're right. That was an unscripted lead in because they were supposed to be talking about stuff, and he was clearly talking about his what Rob had told him about how he got the fish,
which was a great choice
week
because that was the scene that happened right before. So
yeah, exactly. So he was talking about that, but that was unscripted, the unscripted lead in to this whole episode. Yeah.
Got his fish.
Whoa. What about you, Ben? I got this in the toy aisle at Walmart, but it was just as romantic.
Oh yeah? I'll bet.
So I think Rob's having some sort of mental breakdown.
How would you tell?
Oh, here he comes.
Look, I know it's a bad haircut, but ignore
How would you tell if Rob is having a mental breakdown? That's exactly it.
that. I've got some great news. No, stupendous news. Look.
What are we supposed to be looking at?
It's begun. I'm growing gills. Gills.
And we've wondered, what does Rob think that he looks like at this point? Because we talked to Dax about that. They're like, obviously, he's got the brand. And we were having a lot of trouble with the makeup of that brand, especially in this scene.
Yeah, you can see it starting to come off a little bit. I cringe. I'm like,
but but I don't think it actually looks that bad. But during that time, as it was happening, I was like, oh my God, this is disastrous, trying to get that thing on there. But like what Rob thinks he looks like at this point must be very different from what he looks like. Yeah, he actually looks like. Romance in the Toy Aisle, a subtitle for my unpinned memoirs. Thank you. I like that.
My transformation into a deep one has finally begun. Father Dagon be praised.
Where are the gills?
Right here. Right here.
Rob, we don't see any gills.
Right here.
Oh, yeah, I think I see something.
Father Dagon, bless.
I want to make some comments about character relationships because this was something that I was talking about with them a lot. I'm very character motivated, so it's always what I'm most excited about. So like at this moment, right, Rob, things were supposed to go a certain way in season 1. They did not. He went and did this very, he dedicated himself. He went and did this very intense thing. He literally branded himself, and it still looks horrible. They have not been taking care of it. But Cthulhu didn't come. And so that is very hard for him to rectify with psychologically, which is why we are saying that he starts to have his mental breakdown a little bit, because he's got to make it make sense. Like something had to have happened, right? The alternative is too hard to accept. So some of these characters are reacting differently. Mike, one of the things that Peter and I were talking together about with Mike is that he feels really responsible because he was the one that did the branding, and he's seeing that Rob is not doing okay. They kind of have like he kind of is like the mom of the group, and so he's the character that is trying to take care of people, and so this is part of what is his dynamic in this season, is him trying to take care of Rob, whereas the difference with Ben there, as he pretends to see it, is just that Ben is the opposite. He just wants to like follow Rob and look up to Rob, and so he's gonna say something. He's gonna kind of convince himself, maybe I see something, and we were talking about that, like, does he actually see something there? But
well, right, because he takes his cue for reality from Rob. Like, so Ben, so if Rob ends up saying, yeah, look, Gil's right here, Ben takes his cue from that and is like, oh, yes, okay, then they must be there. If Rob is saying
it's not that he visually sees it, he's not hallucinating, but he's just like, maybe that little shadow is this Gil. Yeah. That's all I was going to say.
This is the worthy. Lesser worshippers, your time is still to come. But my fate has never been clearer. Lesser worshippers?
Rob.
There's his mom, like
Looks like he's not
it's just a mom like scold. Anyway, sorry.
sad anymore. I guess he's all better now.
I don't think this is better.
I really
started
like
with the gills.
I love that.
Now there are scales running down my arms. I think I feel the webbing starting to grow between my fingers. See? There's a bump right here.
That was like one of the very first scenes that Dax filmed after he was back. Like that, I think that may have been like a day one scene or something like that with him being crazy.
More fish.
And so this is the first time that I'm shown in an episode. Now I have been in these episodes in after credit scenes.
Yeah.
So if you didn't see me in the post credit scenes, you should have watched the post credit scenes. But here I am because this is the first time that I intersect with the main narrative, right? As Steve.
This was when you and I started laughing while we were watching it earlier.
Yeah.
So then I said, no, bro.
See, this is another one of those.
Seaweed.
That's right. That
Unscripted
was
lead-ins,
another unscripted from Sky right there.
Yeah.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh, yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Wait, what's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Hunter says Steve's gonna be trouble for the group. Yes, he definitely is.
What, have
And
you
then
been
also
watching
everybody wave at Heath. Yes.
You mean Steve? Who's Heath? Who? What?
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
Likely story, Steve King, who wears a yellow shirt. It's the cultists of the Yellow King. We're being infiltrated.
That yellow shirt, by the way, is the same yellow shirt that Dave was wearing in season 1, just by accident for the stops of props. That was that shirt. That's actually the same shirt in universe, but from the prop perspective, yellow shirt, that was the same one that was used.
Away, evil one! Away!
You got it all wrong.
Away!
I always laugh at that part. It's just so, and then the great thing is, of course, we did that in lots of takes. So, he fell physically on the ground over rocks and roots lots of times. He was very committed to this role, but that was my favorite fall. So that one was the one that made it. And it's just something
and I think
about
that was the very first one.
It's just so derpy looking. Like, it's something about how, I don't know, it was just perfect.
Yeah, I think that was take 1. But yes, there were multiple falls for people to take.
Close.
For Brianna to
The cultists of the Yellow King almost ate our donuts.
and also Steve with the fish. He brings out the fish, or excuse me, Dave here with the fish. He brings out the fish, and came
Oh
out,
yeah,
like,
he just, that's
swirling
right.
them
That
and
was,
stuff like
I think
He
that was his idea. He just like had it staffed in his robe and just pulls it out like a weapon. And it's just, yeah, I think that was his idea.
I think it was.
How did you know he was with them? My powers grow stronger by the day.
Soon you'll be more powerful than Aquaman.
That time has almost come.
Yeah, I gotta make another comment. Not to stop it too much, but of course, so many things. But so here too, you have Rob, because he has this perception that he's turning into Deep One. Now he's getting his confidence, and so that is an important part here, where he's like, okay, now I'm becoming powerful. And again, Ben is just following him for his sense of reality. Okay, he says that. All right, must be true.
It's not our problem.
Well, we also watched Aquaman specifically for that, because when he makes the comment about Aquaman, we did watch that, and we were looking for other opportunities to bring Aquaman references in, but we didn't really find them. So that was the one Aquaman.
But we researched it.
Yeah, we watched it. We researched it pretty thoroughly, but I do appreciate that the respect they're giving Aquaman. It's like, man, you can be more powerful than Aquaman. And then,
Aquaman is such a dumb movie.
we thought that it was kind of lame. And then but the fact
But of
that
course,
Rob really
like
likes it, he's like, yes, I am almost Aquaman right now.
But I'm homeless.
We don't care. Go away, Steve. Never come back.
I swear eternal vengeance.
Such a derpy character.
I kicked several things during that one,
Yeah.
and there was something that I hurt myself on some kick.
I'm sure you did, because each time you fell, it fell a little different, so you kind of would do that take a little differently and hit something else, and some of them didn't even match each other very well. I think this might be a different take though.
Well, it could have been,
but yeah.
There we go. You like that, don't you?
Rob,
it's like the most disturbing part. So I was just gonna say, it's like the most disturbing part of the show. It's the scene.
But that was an early idea too, about, well, he's got to have his fish on a leash, walking them around. That was an early idea for season 2, that having the fish on a leash.
It's always good to be in the water.
That's right.
What are you doing?
I'm just taking her for a little swim.
Yeah, that was a very brave thing you did over there.
Because fish on a leash as part of the props was like one of the things that we had.
Yes, that was listed as a leash, as a
on
script
a
object. Yes.
And Steve tried to eat our donuts.
It's nothing, Mike. But you will all have to be much more careful when I've gone to the sea and I'm no longer here to protect you.
What are you talking about?
My father beneath the waves beckons.
Rob, how are you feeling?
Truth be told, Mike, I'm feeling very dry. Very dry. I'm not sure how much longer I will still be able to breathe the air.
Yeah, about that. Look, if I've done anything, what I'm trying to say is that, look, we can get you help.
Nonsense, Mike. I've never felt better.
And this scene is definitely Mike realizing that Rob is gone and disturbed beyond Rob from season 1. That we already know that Rob is out there, but he's even further out there in this scene.
And Mike isn't sure what to do about it. It's like, I'm reaching out to give my friend some help, and it's not working. What do I do now?
And he's weirder than I could have thought, right? But because he had the conversation with Dad last episode, he's got an idea about what could possibly be happening.
Right. So he's better suited to see what's going on.
Okay.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. Just keep swimming.
And that's our second Dory reference. What's the movie?
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. That's our second Finding Nemo reference. And actually, I think that was the only one that was in the script. That fish are friends, not food was Dax's addition off of script in season 1.
Was it?
I believe it was. Was it?
I don't even
Fish
remember.
are friends, not food. I would have to check
Maybe.
the script. But something tells me that was something that was
or it might have been
ad-lib.
or maybe not ad-libbed. It might have been an idea that we then worked into the script or something. It might have been a cast idea. That sounds familiar.
I think you're right. It may have been a cast idea during while we were talking during season 1. It may have been Sky's idea, who plays Dave, and then we incorporated that line into that. I think that's what it was. Chaz says, I know an interesting twitch. It turns out it's Kanye West and his old one.
They're just there.
Yum.
Wait, what are you doing?
Oh, we are going to eat you.
No, please don't.
Why shouldn't we?
Because I can bring you something better, something much, much better.
Like what?
The coffee drinking cultists who meet under the pavilion. I can bring them to you.
The worshippers of Dagon and Yog-Sothoth.
Yes, they will make a much better meal than I will.
Interesting. Okay, Steve.
Now, she just lays the net on me during that. But we had a much more complicated idea in the script for them trying to tie me up in some way. And it was just not something that we were going to be able to do and get the ropes to go around or something like that. And so we ended up with the idea of the net, and that, well, she only even just lays the net on me.
Yeah, and even just doing that was hard because the wind kept messing up the net. So there are a lot of takes where it's even worse, where you're like, what are you doing? And there's like nothing really happening.
This was an extremely windy day that we were shooting that, and sometimes the net was just like hardly even on me. Like, what are you doing? Right? Yeah.
You bought yourself some time, but if you not bring them to me within 3 days, then you're back on the menu. Got it?
Yes. Okay, I got it. Yes, I will bring them to you. I promise.
Brandon says, when you hit those those nervous high notes, Heath, it sounds a bit like you're channeling Sheldon Cooper. Could be. I don't think I specifically thought about Sheldon when I was trying to portray Steve, but I can see that. I can definitely see that.
I love the goofiness of your character voice for that character. It's very unlike you.
Yeah, I did try to give him a different voice. Yeah, I did. I thought that he needed a kind of
pathetic sounding voice.
Nerdy voice, right?
Yeah.
And James says the dialogue sound is great despite the windy day. And that was something we worked on a lot, the technicality of that a lot.
We had an upgrade from season 1. We had not very good audio in season 1, but in season 2 we finally had a why does boom mic, the word almost left. And we had, and the great thing about the dead cat or whatever, I'm not good with technical sides of the filmmaking sometimes, but you have the windbreaker basically, and it works so well. It just it's as if there's no wind. It's magic, but we couldn't afford that in season 1.
We couldn't afford that in season 1.
We had it in season 2.
We did do some ADR, some after the dialogue recording after the fact for season 2. We did it for season 1, definitely. We did some for season 2.
We didn't need it nearly as much.
But we didn't need it nearly as much. And I'm trying to think if even during those windy scenes, I don't think I had to re-record any dialogue. So I don't think that was that. I think it was Dax, some of Dax's lines that got. Thank you. Thank you so much to everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. Is Harrison, do we see him in the comments?
Is he still here live?
Is he still here live? Hopefully he is. So look for a bunch of new stuff coming. I really appreciate everybody who has been here. We're going to be talking more about the RPG worlds and the RPG world building, but also the stories that we are trying to create and trying to come up with a way to launch Ritual in a way that funds hopefully season 3, because Brianna needs to direct more stuff in order to get out to Hollywood and stuff like that. And so that's really, I need to produce more things too. And so we would really like to be able to do the Cultist season 3 to conclude our show. It's only gonna be 3 seasons long. We've already written the scripts. We love the scripts. She needs to be able to direct something new. I need to produce something new. And then we'll also have more stories and things like that to go as well. So, all right. Everybody, thank you. Look for more videos on YouTube. If you want to help out, go to the YouTube channel and watch some YouTube videos. We got behind the scenes for the Cultists and things like that. And if you click and say, thumbs up and things like that, and also comment, I look at YouTube comments all the time. Be happy to talk to you if you have questions or things like that. So, all right, I guess that's it for right now. We are out of here, and we'll see you again next week at the same time for the Cultists episode 4. Bye, everybody.